guess this should go to those people who are calling. So I'll start now, and please join me with your palms together to receive the 5 precepts. And you will recite with me, and we will go on from there. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi. Adinna dāna vīramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu micchācārā vīramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi. Suramēraya majjapamādatthānā vīramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So I ask you all to mute your mic. As long as you can hear me, I think that's good enough. And if you have questions, I think there is a question panel here. There is a chat forum where you will be able to ask your questions. But we will begin with a short guided meditation. And if you can just mute your mics from your end, that will be wonderful. Perfect. So wherever you are, welcome. It's wonderful that you are here joining with the virtual temple. It is timely as well. So we will first begin with our guided meditation and then do it for about 20 to 25 minutes. And after that, we will switch to our discussion. And after that, we will engage in a discussion as a group. So please find a comfortable place, and if you are still holding your device, you may place it on a desk and mute your mic and close your eyes just like I do now, and place your right palm on your left palm and begin scanning your body from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. Begin relaxing and inhaling and exhaling with awareness. Take a deep breath in and release. As you breathe in and breathe out, please observe the muscle movements of your body. Pay attention to these parts of your body as I will be mentioning each part, giving you a little break so that you can focus and pay attention to those parts of your body. Your forehead, relax, wiggle and release the muscles. Your eyebrows, your eyelids, your facial expressions, the top of your head, the back of your head, and your neck, your shoulders, your arms and your chest. Your palms resting, your belly area, and your back aligned with your neck and the back of your head. Basically, the skull is resting without much weight and trouble there. You may adjust your posture if you have to, paying attention to your waistline, the pelvis area, the muscles tightened to the chair or the seating cushion, the muscles in your thighs, your knees, the shin bones, your ankles, the soles of your feet and the toes. Releasing any negative energy, any anxiety out in space. Those who are joining now may mute your sound so we don't have to be disturbed. And you may also ground yourself here and now. Inviting positive energy back into the core of your body, to the heart base, and making space in that heart base for awareness, positive energy, and loving kindness. Starting from yourself, you may begin dwelling in loving kindness and radiating loving kindness in every direction. In front of you, may all beings be well and happy. Above you, may all beings, seen and unseen, be well and happy. Behind you, may all beings be well and happy. Below you, may all beings be well and happy. On your left side, may all beings be well and happy. On your right hand side, may all beings be well and happy. Take a deep breath in and release. Mindfully, you breathe in and you breathe out. You may mute your mic so people won't be disturbed. Continue inhaling and exhaling, experiencing the whole breath body. As fresh air goes into your lungs through your nostrils, you are aware. It's not happening in the past, not happening in the future. It's happening here and now. Sometimes it is short, sometimes it is long, sometimes you can't tell. Our purpose, our goal here is to let the body almost disappear, which means seeing, hearing, etc. will disappear. You will simply stay present with the ever-present inhaling and exhaling. With each breath you come one step closer to peace, tranquility and joy. As you feel those, you inhale and exhale, experiencing joy, peace and tranquility. Experiencing peace, you breathe in and you breathe out. Those who are joining now, you may mute your mic. And join this meditation. You may now have learned the natural phase of your inhaling and exhaling. Experiencing the whole body. Mindfully, you breathe in and breathe out. In the next 1 or 2 minutes, we will conclude our guided meditation session. Prepare to open your eyes when you are told to do so. You may begin paying attention to your shoulders, your position of your body. Feeling the ground below your feet and your surrounding. You may dedicate your practice to those people who are dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic out there in the world. You may dedicate your practice also to the healthcare providers, those people who are working day and night in pharmaceutical industry looking for a medicine, and those heroes actively working in the ground in whatever form or capacity, even by making a mask or something, or feeding a hungry animal, hungry dog, stray dogs. I dedicate my practice to all these wonderful beings, seen and unseen, working very hard out there. May they be well and happy. May all beings be well and happy. May we hear good things, may good things happen to our friends out there. Let me play the meditation bell. Perfect. Thank you. So I see on this video there are 10 people in attendance. I'm not sure if some others are calling the number. I got one text that the number is not working, which I have not tried yet. So I hope they are joining at least on Facebook live streaming or using the video conferencing link. And we are still experimenting over this, so we don't know the exact limitations we have with this. And so welcome again. And next we will do our spiritual reflections, and for that let me share the screen with you. So this is the sutra that we, can you see it?
Yes, we can see. Yeah, we can see.
So this is the wheel turning emperor from Long Discourses of the Buddha. This is number 26, a very popular discourse named Cakkavatti Sutta. So Cakkavatti also refers to a monarch, an emperor. So in this there is a story about, an emperor, and he's endowed with so much wealth, and how later on he abandons all that wealth and goes into the forest, and he asks his son to take over after him, but his son didn't do a good job and the wealth disappeared. So before the king went into the forest, he was doing so many good things, virtuous things, and that's why he had the wealth. But the son didn't continue the instructions of his father. That is why all the wealth disappeared. Similarly, we find a little introduction, which is the translator's introduction, and I shared the short version of the sutra because this is really like long discourses, and you will find a lengthy, really long discourse, and in the limited time we have, we may not cover the whole thing. And I'm going to also highlight only a few parts. If you have not read it, please read the whole thing, and you have online resources available, so you can find the sutra and read it for yourself. So let me read a little bit up to this part here. In the past, unskillful behavior was unknown among the human race. That's a very strange time. Unskillful here means akusala. Akusala behavior. As a result, people lived for an immensely long time, 80,000 years. And one of our audience members, Pujita Mahatma, went online to find if there is any proof that people lived that long. I believe with our limited knowledge, our online resources are very scarce, and we may not find enough information supporting this kind of an idea. Endowed with great beauty, wealth, pleasure, and strength. Over the course of time, though, they began behaving in various unskillful ways. This caused the human lifespan gradually to shorten to the point where it now stands at 100 years, which is our present time, with human beauty, wealth, pleasure, and strength decreasing proportionately. We would think that before we came down to 100 years, those beings were perhaps not living a flesh human body, but they lived like a spirit, like they say in heaven they have that many years to live. So, in one of the sutras, the Buddhist Genesis Aggañña Sutra has some stories like that. If you forget the name, Aggañña Sutra, you can send me a message and I will give you a reference. So let me get back to the reading. In the future, as morality continues to degenerate, human life will continue to shorten to the point where the normal lifespan is 10 years. Nowadays, people say our lifespan is increasing, but this says something opposite. With people reaching sexual maturity at 5, among those human beings, the 10 causes of action will have entirely disappeared. So I have a note on 10 causes of action. Destroying life, which is very unskillful. Stealing, wrong conduct in regard to sensual pleasures. False speech, speech hating others, which is called slander. Unkind speech, malicious speech. Number 7, gossiping. Number 8, too much greed, also called covetousness. Number 9, ill will. Number 10, wrong view. So these are the 10 causes of action that the whole world should be aware of. And the wholesome parts are not destroying life, not stealing. And when people practice these, the world will become beautiful. But there is a time that these things will have entirely disappeared. The word kusala, word skillful, will not exist. So, from where will there be anyone who does what is skillful? Those lack the honorable qualities of motherhood, fatherhood, contemplativehood, and Brahmanhood will be the ones who receive homage. Fierce hatred will arise, fierce malevolence, fierce rage, and murderous thoughts. Mother for child, child for mother, they hate each other, and all these things will appear. And now pay attention to this part. Ultimately, conditions will deteriorate to the point of a sword interval, in which swords appear in the hands of all human beings, and they hunt one another like a game. And a few people, however, will take shelter in the wilderness to escape the carnage, and when the slaughter is over, they will come out of hiding and resolve to take up a life of skillful and virtuous action again. So they have to now abandon their evil actions. With the recovery of virtue, which is good conduct, the human lifespan will gradually increase again until it reaches to 80,000 years. We're probably reaching towards that, we don't know. With people attaining sexual maturity at age 500. Only 3 diseases will be known at that time. One of the diseases is desire, and the other disease is lack of food, which is like feeling hungry, and old age. These are the only diseases that you will find in that time. Your sexual desire and desire to enjoy life, and that when you are hungry, it is like a disease and old age. And then the future Buddha, Maitreya Buddha, will gain awakening, and his monastic Sangha members numbering in the thousands. The greatest king of the time, Sankha, will go forth into becoming a monk and attain arahanthood under the Buddha's guidance. The story, after chronicling the ups and downs of the human wealth, lifespan, etc., concludes with the following lesson on karma and skillful action. So my purpose is not to read the whole thing because it's already 8:30, and but I will highlight some of this, but also try to make a connection with what we are dealing with. And for that, let me also highlight something that His Holiness Dalai Lama shared with us. He said, when asked what surprised him the most about humanity, he answered, man surprises him the most, because he sacrifices his wealth in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present. The result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die, and then dies having never really lived. So, I think that came to my mind as I was preparing for this evening session. There is also this translation I did, and I'm going to share this with you later. And one thing that I like to share and highlight from this translation, which I did, but the whole thing is in English. This is a message from Shehu Dalhu, the chief, the Zongo chief in the northern region of Ghana, and he's telling what is the COVID-19 virus really teaching us. He's saying we need to make, like every leader now, talk about making a spiritual connection. And I hear that even at the end of big virtual conferences, they say, pray for good health, make a connection with spirituality. So it is kind of the first thing he writes is that it's reminding us that we are all equal, regardless of our culture, religion, occupation, financial situation, or how famous we are. This disease treats us all equally. Perhaps we should too. If you don't believe me, just ask Tom Hanks. He's the very popular actor, the American actor. He also got this disease, and we know there are many famous figures who are fighting this illness. And now this group obviously has many connections, and in your network you find people, usually healthcare providers, who reach out to the needy and who are doing your little bit to help those who are battling with something related to COVID-19. So at a time like that, it's obvious that there is anxiety that will cross your mind, and you feel a little bit of fear and uncertainty, sitting on the edge of the unknown, not knowing how to proceed, and have to think about, having to think about social distancing. And when you return home, you have to think about your family, and when you are outside, you have to have a certain awareness about your surroundings. So, and this can freak us out, and people go in their capacity to cope with all this situation. Sometimes you feel helpless. So that's why, at least as a virtual gathering, and we are fortunate that we have the facility for that. Even in a virtual gathering, you have the opportunity to share your concerns and thoughts. And if you go to any Google site, WHO, the World Health Organization, share with you some important tips, and I like to blend that with spirituality a little bit. So I find that they highlight these 5. Do the 5, they say. The 5 they highlight are hands, elbow, face, space, and home. Wash them. When it comes to hands, they say wash them often, and I put mine there and wash it often. Elbow, so cough into it. They say cough into the elbow, and when I put anxiety in there, I say laugh into it, so you can relax. This is a hidden monster that may arise and can take over, control the light's direction, so you just don't need to listen to it or believe it. You just laugh and relax. Face, the Awanis, we tend to touch our face every now and then. Don't touch it, they say. And instead I put not in place, please follow these, but just as a reminder, you will be angry at some time, like why this is happening to me, why this is happening to us. Anger, don't touch it. Same thing. Just like you don't touch your face when there is anger. Anger is harmful to the person who is dealing with it, yourself, before anyone, so don't touch it. Number 4, space. Keep a safe distance. So I put loving kindness in there. Radiate it in every direction. And number 5, home. Stay if you can. Stay home if you can. And as a reminder, I put earth in there. Earth is our home. Look after our home. So every time you recycle, every time you drink fresh water, every time you eat from fresh produce, not chemically produced, you make that earthly connection. Go out and take some sun, and don't forget to take your vitamins. Sometimes we need to have these reminders sent by somebody. And I believe it is the time that you dedicate more and more time into spirituality and learning. So I believe next time I will also send a reminder to whoever is willing to join. Perhaps we can do the same thing. And if you have any comments only, you may send me an email. And if not, you don't have to, because I may not will it's unnecessary to spend time responding to each and every person. But if there's any concern, you may share. But for now, if we go back to the sutra, can you see the sutra again? So this is the part I like to highlight. Monks, live with yourself as your island, yourself as your refuge, with nothing else as your refuge. Live with the Dhamma as your island, the Dhamma as your refuge, with nothing else as your refuge. And how does a monk live with himself as the island, himself as his refuge, with nothing else as his refuge, with the Dhamma as his island, the Dhamma as his refuge, with nothing else as his refuge. So what he says is practice the four foundations of loving kindness, establishing mindfulness in body, feelings, mind and mind objects. And I think all of you have a basic understanding about that. And when we do that, the Buddha says, ardent, fully aware, mindful, and putting aside greed and distress with reference to the world. Let things be, and you just, when you can go outside, you go inside, you go and investigate yourself within. And these four foundations of mindfulness, the Buddha says, this is your proper range, your own ancestral territory. When you wander in your proper range, your own ancestral territory, you will grow in long life, beauty, pleasure, wealth, and strength. So find out what these are in your own readings. And if you have questions, send those my way, and perhaps next week or perhaps this Wednesday we are planning on having another session, and then we can discuss the remainder of it. You don't have to cover the whole thing. And now I invite you all to raise your hand, but in a virtual way. You may unmute your microphone and open the discussion with your questions and concerns. Anybody? You can at least say this helped you, that your meditation was good, or something. There's a chat box also open on the side.
Yes, Guru, it's really, really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Please do it more often, if you can.
Absolutely. I see a chat message. Oh, it's asking what does it mean by ancestral territory. So ancestor here is the Buddha and the lineage of Buddhas in the past, and we inherit, as monks we inherit the teachings. The Buddha, we take Buddha as our father. So when he passes his teaching and wisdom to us, he's basically passing the four foundations of mindfulness to us. And if we are not living according to the four foundations of mindfulness, we are outside his territory, the land given to us. We are unsafe outside. So that is what that means. That's a good question. Any more questions? Is Nada still here? Yes. Yeah. Perfect. So please, thank you for joining, and please, I guess we'll also have to open the call line so people join in both ways. Maybe I only went with one option. Next time I will also make a call and have my microphone connected to it so people can listen. And I'm going to I'm going to share merit. Please join me with that. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for coming. Happy meditation.